Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out another DIY project. So this video is sponsored by none other than Skillshare. One of the most frequently asked questions or comments that I get on my channel is, how do you think like that? How does your brain work? And one of my favorite ones, I can't wrap my brain around your brain. So I want to give a little credit to Skillshare for that. They offer a good amount of classes on creative thinking and thinking outside of the box, and I have really enjoyed those, as well as their 25,000 other classes. From those, I have checked out some of the how-to YouTube and DIY, some of their DIYs and cooking videos. They have so many. Anyone that signs up in the next 30 days from the day this video is published, this link is going to work for your 2-month free trial. So you can check it out and see if it's something that you like. For this project, I start with 2 of these round plastic mirror plates from Dollar Tree. And I flip them over and take an old plastic plate that I have and I trace it out with a pencil, and then I trace out a paper bowl. So what you want to do is try to find something that gives you about an inch or an inch and a half thick diameter in between your trace lines. Next, I use a round mirror from Dollar Tree, and then I use a good pair of scissors to cut those lines out. And here's an extra tip. You want to kind of notch out 2 triangles. That way you can fit your scissors up against your line without scratching your mirrors. Now you should have 1 circle left about the size of the one from Dollar Tree. You just flip it over and do another one. I use a small plastic lid to trace, and then I'll just cut that out. So I do the same thing to the other mirror. That way I have 2 of the same size of everything. And we can use the center one or the medium size circle for something else. For this, we just need the large circle and the small circle. Next, I use a Jenga block, but you can use like a ruler or a pencil to make some lines on your circle so you can cut those into the shape of a C. Once you have all 4 of your C's cut and ready, then I'm going to take a piece of old foam that I have, like this old foam board from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to trace out a bunch of C's. And I was able to fit 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom. Now that last one probably is going to hang off, or it did for me. And if that's the case, that's okay, because we're just going to rough cut this. It does not have to be perfect at all. In fact, you want to get deep inside of your trace lines. You cut off a little extra foam. Once all of our big C's are cut out, there's going to be like enough of that foam left that you can trace and cut out your small C's as well. That way you only use 1 piece of foam board. Now, once all of our foam is cut out, we're just going to make like these, let's say, mirrored C sandwiches. So we're going to glue a piece of foam on the back of each of one of these C mirrors. For gluing the foam directly on the mirror, you want to use anything besides hot glue, a good adhesive that's strong, but the hot glue will melt it and disfigure it, and you really don't want that. I do use some hot glue throughout this project, but specifically when it comes to getting close to this plastic, I do not. So once I have a piece of foam glued on the back of all of those C mirrors, then I start gluing all the foam together that's going to be in the center, and I do that with hot glue. So I get my big C and my small C ready, and then I actually use hot glue to secure those together so I have a front and back. Be able to kind of sit it on your table and roll it. And now I was doing that, and then I was just actually kind of just spinning mine on the table, just checking the balance, making sure everything was lined up just right. Now I'm just going to cut some strips of cardboard. I'm going to cut 2 for the big one and 2 for the small one. And one's going to be for the outside of the C, and one's going to be for the inside part. And then I'm going to use hot glue to glue that cardboard onto the foam. Now the strip can be smaller. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it can be smaller than the mirrors within the C, but it doesn't need to hang over. Once you get those glued, then you can cut out some small squares for your ends of your C. And now it's time to start blinging it out. So I use some mosaic mirrors for the outside of the C, which is fine for the big one, but it's a total waste on the outside of the small one, just because the small one is that you're not going to see the outside. It's going to be concealed. So that was a waste of materials, just to let you know. You see me doing it, but that's something you really don't have to do. I also use some adhesive gems similar to those clear dot gems at Dollar Tree. And I also use some diamond wrap from Dollar Tree. And I cut those out into single rows of bling. And for me, in my opinion, the Dollar Tree bling is much better for this project because it's so forgiving. It's so easy to work with and so easy to shape on this. Now I take a long plate, kind of like the round one. Um, and I just cut some mirrored strips out. And I really did this for the big C, which for the inside of the big C, which was totally unnecessary. So that's something else that I did that you won't have to do. Now I glue these on the inside of my C's, both the big and the small. It was pretty effortless to glue these in because they just laid up in there, so it really didn't take a whole lot of anything. And then I just cut some mirrored pieces out for the ends, and I glued those on. So once I had my C's completely blinged out, covered in mirrors front to back, then I make a hole in the back side of my small C with a drill bit. I just slightly push the trigger, just enough to kind of break the cardboard because I wanted the dowel stick to go through and grab really well, and it did. It actually did so well. I didn't even use any glue right here just in case I might need to change something later, which I didn't. I thought of using wire, but this dowel did just really, really good. So next I make a hole in the inside part of the big C. So I just place my small C over it, see where I want it. I'm going to have to, cut the dowel to fit. And your dowel can be a little bit give or take either way because you have a little bit of playroom, but you want to make sure the dowel goes in your C, pretty good ways. Then I use some strong adhesive, again, not hot glue, and then I'm going to push the small C into the big C. So once I have it positioned where I like, then I'm going to make an acrylic wall. And this was a great time for my camera to stop working. So I apologize. I'm missing a little bit of film here. But all I'm going to do is create an acrylic wall with some floral gems from Dollar Tree. And I just glue those from rim to rim within the inside. And you also need some filler gems to kind of fill in those gaps. And this is also the time that you want to add some lights. If you want to add lights, it does not have to be battery operated. You could actually use a strand of Christmas lights that would look very, very good with this project. And I actually started with fairy lights and then changed that out a little bit later before I had the wall completely made. So, yeah, you just want to glue these from rim to rim, covering it. And I just went in kind of a cluster, no specific order, no specific pattern. And once that was glued in and ready, then I was ready to make the base. So for the base of my candle holder, I'll be using a 5x5 wooden canvas from Dollar Tree. If yours is shallow like mine and you have a battery pack, then you may want to add some height to it like I did. And I did that with some Jenga blocks, and I just glued those in each corner. And I flipped the canvas over and I hot glued the battery pack to the canvas with the open and close facing out so I can change them. You could use Velcro if you prefer, but for me, I like this. So next I use a 5x5 mirror and I glue that on the top of the canvas. And by the way, I had ran the little wire to the lighting. I ran that wire behind the little mirrored square on the big C. Now, to balance this C on our base, I use a medium size gem, but I'm just kind of position it to see where I want it. And then I glue the gem to the C. And once I have that glued with the gem facing down, then I add glue to the biggest part of the gem, which is the top. But like I said, my gem's facing down. And then I glue that to the mirror. And then I add some regular size floral gems all the way around it just to kind of give it a little bit more security. Now, then I do the other side the same way. There's not any glue actually on the bottom of this C, none at all. And this is where you want to make sure you use a good permanent glue. So I'm going to let this sit for about 2 or 3 hours just to kind of grab. And then I'm going to come back and work on the top of it. So how I'm going to get this candle holder on the top is I'm going to use a plastic round piece from the wine glasses of Dollar Tree. I'm going to make a little hole right there. And I did that with my hot knife. And this plastic is super, super thin. So that really didn't take a lot to do that. And I'm going to place it on top of the candle holder, see where I want it, and then notch out that mosaic mirror. Then I'm going to take a piece of floral wire that I have left over from another project, and I'm going to run it through the little wine glass piece and add glue to it and then stick it down into that foam and kind of hammer it on down a little bit further, and I could feel it grab. I know this thing is on here. I know that this is not going to fall off, and I totally trust it. So now I just kind of trim off the extra wire that's sticking up, and then I place my tea light candle holder on the top, and I noticed it wasn't balanced and it was kind of teeter tottering, or rocking back and forth. So you can either flip your candle light over your glass tea light candle holder, you can flip that upside down, or you can add a napkin ring and then glue that in, and then glue your glass candle holder on top of that. Or you can do like I did and make notch out a little bit of the wax on the actual candle itself, and then place that on top. Now obviously that would be for looks, because I do not want to get any wax on any of this candle holder. And finally, to tie all this in together, I cap the ends off, or enclose the ends with the same gems that's going around the side that's hollow on the inside. So I just kind of cap that off by gluing a bunch of gems. We can't leave that base plain like that, so I just go around the base of the candle holder with some adhesive diamond wrap from Dollar Tree. You can now enjoy this beautiful piece in your home, because this project is finished. Also, you do not want to use Windex to clean this. It will leave a film. You'll never get it off. So I used hot water, or just warm water, and a microfiber cloth. I hope you guys like it. Remember, if you do, to give it a thumbs up. I appreciate you guys so much for watching, and I would love it if you would please share this video and drop a comment below. I'll see you very soon with another DIY project.